Hey there, this is James. It's the little things at first. Small moments I try to ignore. A phone call, a text, a sudden rush to help Amy with whatever mess she's created this time. It's like an invisible thread always tugging at Rebecca. The thread pulls tighter each time, and I get left behind. Amy's demands, the way she looks at Rebecca like she's her personal assistant, honestly, it's exhausting. It's like Rebecca doesn't see it. Or maybe she does, but she won't say it. Or worse, she doesn't care. I'm not sure which is worse. We've been married 8 years, and these patterns have been creeping in for the last few. Rebecca's always been the fixer. You need a favor? She's there. Can't handle a kid for 5 minutes? She's the one with her sleeves rolled up. Hell, even when we started dating, I admired her patience. The way she took on the world like it was her responsibility. But now? It's like she's handing her life away to Amy, piece by piece, and I'm just here watching it happen. There was a time when we didn't have to question it. When helping out was second nature, and we didn't need to have talks about boundaries or fairness. Now, I'm the one wondering if Rebecca sees me as her partner or as some bystander to her guilt-ridden need to please Amy. We've been doing this dance for years. Amy calls, and it's always urgent. Rebecca, could you take Sarah for a few hours while I do this? Or, Rebecca, can you grab groceries for me? I'm swamped. And every time, Rebecca says yes. Without hesitation. Without looking at me. It's become routine, but I'm tired of it. The errands. The pickups. The babysitting. What's worse? Rebecca doesn't seem to get why it bothers me. I'll bring it up, try to make her understand that she can't keep prioritizing Amy's needs over mine, over our own life. And every time, it's like I'm speaking a different language. You're being unreasonable, James. Maybe I am. Maybe I don't understand how a sister can't need help, but damn it, this isn't a one-sided game anymore. And I don't know when it started to eat at me, but it has. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. And it feels like Rebecca's heart belongs more to Amy than to me. We don't talk about it. She's busy, I'm busy, we go on, but it builds, silently. And Sarah? She's caught in the middle of it all. She sees it. She notices when we fight. She notices when her mom's more interested in Amy's crisis than in helping her get to bed on time. I try to keep my voice down. I don't want Sarah hearing the tension between us, but sometimes, it's hard. Sometimes, the anger hits too fast, too sharp. And I'm left biting my tongue, because I don't want her to think this is normal. But we're not normal anymore, are we? I try to remind myself it's not just Amy. It's Rebecca's habit of overcompensating, her tendency to bend over backward, making sure everyone's happy, everyone's needs met, until the one person she's ignoring is me. It's always been there. It's always been Amy and me, in the background, standing at different corners of the room while Rebecca spins herself into knots trying to keep it all together. And it's not just me, there are the moments when I see it in the little things. The side glances, the subtle change in her posture when Amy walks in, as if Rebecca's shifting into her helpful mode. I watch it happen, and I want to scream. But I don't. I can't. Not when it feels like everything will come crashing down if I do. We don't talk about it, but it's there. That quiet, growing tension. The unspoken resentments that pile up until they become a weight neither of us can carry without buckling under it. And somewhere between the dinners, the errands, and the constant apologizing to Amy for things I didn't even do, I wonder if Rebecca sees what's happening, or if she's too far gone to realize the damage. But the worst part? The part that stings more than anything? It's knowing I'm not the priority. It's knowing that, no matter how hard I try to explain, I can't shake this feeling. I'm here, but I'm invisible. And Rebecca? She's looking the other way. A few weeks pass. The tension is still there, thick in the air between us, but life keeps moving. We go through the motions, work, school, groceries, sleep, like the clock's ticking and we're just trying to keep pace. but the cracks are getting wider. I can feel it. And then, it happens. It's Sarah's birthday, and for once, I'm looking forward to a day that's supposed to be about us. Rebecca's been running around, as usual, making sure everything is perfect. The cake is in the oven, the balloons are tied to the mailbox, and the decorations are just right. I'm not the one who loves parties, but it's our daughter's day. It's supposed to be fun, a chance to focus on her and what she wants. But even today, I know it won't be that simple. Not with Amy hovering. We get to the party, and everything's fine at first. The kids are running around, laughing, playing. Sarah's thrilled with her balloon animal. But then, out of nowhere, it all falls apart. An older kid, maybe 8 or 9, accidentally knocks Sarah over while they're playing tag. She hits the ground hard, her balloon animal popping in the process. It's the kind of thing that happens at every kid's party, nothing major. But Sarah's upset. She's crying, clutching the remnants of her balloon animal. It's just a toy, but to her, it's everything. Rebecca's there in an instant, but not the way I want her to be. She makes light of the situation, like it's no big deal. Come on, honey, it's just a balloon. Let's not cry over something silly. And I get it, she's trying to calm Sarah down, but it's too dismissive. It's too easy for Rebecca to brush it off, as if Sarah's emotions are just an inconvenience. Rebecca, I say, trying to keep my voice calm, it's not just a balloon. She's upset. Let her have a moment. Rebecca looks at me, sharp-eyed, and dismisses it with a quick wave of her hand. James, please. She'll be fine. But Sarah's still crying, louder now, and that's when I snap. Stop acting like it doesn't matter. I say, a little louder than I mean to. She's upset. Deal with it. Rebecca's eyes widen, and for a second, there's a flash of something more than surprise, maybe anger, maybe frustration. But then, before she can say anything, Sarah's balloon animal has been forgotten in favor of the next crisis, an older kid who's been arguing over the game. I try to stay composed, but the air between Rebecca and me is thick now, and I can't shake the feeling that she's turning her back on me again. She's too wrapped up in everything else to see what's happening in front of her. At some point, I can't hold it in anymore. When Rebecca comes over to me, finally, after the kids have calmed down and the party's starting to wind down, I'm already fuming. I don't get it, I say, my voice a little lower now but still sharp. I'm here, Rebecca. I'm right here. And you keep making me feel like I don't matter. Like everything else, Amy, the kids, whatever, is more important than me. Than us. Rebecca's eyes flicker, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Instead, she shifts, pulling herself away. James, not now. You're making a scene, she says quietly, glancing around. It's like a slap to the face. A scene? I repeat, incredulous. I'm not making a scene. I'm standing here, and I'm trying to talk to you, and you're acting like I don't exist. There's a pause, too long, and the air between us freezes. The worst part is how little she seems to care. That's when it happens. Amy, ever the judge, looks at me from across the room and catches my eye. She gives me that look, like I'm the problem. I bite my tongue, but I know Rebecca sees it. And when she says, "Shut your mouth, James," loud enough for everyone to hear, my stomach twists. The words hang in the air. She tells me to shut up. In front of everyone. I don't say a word. I don't respond. I don't need to. The weight of her words is enough. I can feel the heat in my chest, but I keep my cool, or at least, I try. I want to walk out. I want to leave her here, leave all of it behind. But I don't. I stay. For Sarah, for whatever this is we're holding on to. The rest of the day passes in a blur. The tension's unbearable. Every time I look at Rebecca, it feels like she's somewhere else. And Amy, of course, stays at her side, quiet and watching, always making sure Rebecca's got everything under control. As the party winds down and the last of the guests leave, I don't say anything more. I don't need to. It's obvious. The cracks aren't just cracks anymore. They're huge, gaping holes. And I don't know how much longer I can pretend they're not there. The next day is heavy. Too heavy to ignore. I wake up before the sun, the stillness around me almost suffocating. Rebecca's not home, probably out doing something for Amy. I lie there in the quiet, staring at the ceiling, trying to piece together everything that happened yesterday. The confrontation, the way Rebecca just shut me out, the way she told me to shut up in front of everyone. It's still ringing in my ears. I can't do this anymore. I pull myself out of bed and get dressed, barely thinking about what I'm doing. I don't have the energy to pretend things are fine, that we're fine. I can't fake it anymore. After I get Sarah dressed, I take her to my mom's house. She's been asking to see Grandma, and I need some space to think. A little time to clear my head. I don't want to be here. Not today. Not with her. Not with the way things are between us. The drive is quiet. Sarah's humming in the back seat, oblivious to the storm inside me. I'm grateful for her innocence, but it stings a little, too. I should be able to fix this. I should be able to keep it together, for her. When I drop Sarah off, I get a message from Rebecca. Where are you? Is everything okay? She knows something's off, but I'm not ready to answer. Not yet. I don't know how to explain this, how to say the things I've been holding in for too long. I spend a couple of hours with my mom, trying to distract myself, but it's useless. My thoughts keep circling back to last night, how everything blew up, how Rebecca dismissed me, how she turned her back on me in front of everyone. I've had enough of being invisible, enough of being the second choice, enough of pretending things will get better when they never do. When I get home, I find Rebecca on the couch, her eyes red. She's been crying, though she's trying to hide it. She glances up as I walk in but doesn't say anything at first. It's like she's waiting for me to speak, like she doesn't want to make it worse. I talk to a lawyer, I say, my voice sharp. I'm starting the process. Rebecca's head jerks up, eyes wide. What? You're serious? Her voice cracks, and for a moment, I see the fear in her eyes. She doesn't know what to say, how to fix this, because she knows there's no fixing it. Not now. I don't want to argue. I don't want to get into a back and forth about who's right and who's wrong. I've made up my mind. The cracks are too big now. There's no ignoring them anymore. I reply, my voice low but steady. She blinks, like she's trying to make sense of it, but she doesn't speak right away. The air between us is thick with everything we've never said, everything we've both been avoiding. It's suffocating. I'm done pretending I can breathe through it. I didn't want this, she says finally, her voice shaking. I never meant for it to be like this. I don't believe her. Not anymore. You've been too busy pleasing everyone else, Rebecca. You've been running after Amy's every need, and I've been pushed aside. I'm tired of it. I can't keep doing this. She looks away then, her hands shaking slightly, but she doesn't say anything more. The silence between us is deafening, and for a moment, I almost regret what I said. But I don't take it back. I can't. I don't want this to end, she whispers, barely audible. We can fix this. I promise we can. I almost laugh, but I stop myself. No, Rebecca. We can't. You don't even see the problem. You don't see me. Not really. You see Amy. You see everyone else, but not me. Not the way I need you to. She doesn't respond. She can't. The words are out now, hanging in the air between us. She tries to hold it together, but it's clear she's not ready to lose me. Not yet. But she's losing me anyway. I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out the divorce papers. She stares at them like they're a foreign language, like there's something she can't comprehend. This is happening, Rebecca, I say, my voice quieter now, but firm. It's over. You don't get to ignore me and expect things to be fine. You don't get to walk all over me and pretend everything's okay. She stares at the papers for a long time, her eyes filled with disbelief. I wait, but she doesn't look at me. She can't. Her world's crashing down, and she doesn't know how to stop it. I don't want to lose you, she says, the words catching in her throat. I know, I reply. But it's too late. You've already lost me. And with that, I walk out. The silence left behind is suffocating, but there's nothing left to say. I've said everything I needed to. It's been a few days since the argument. Work distracts me, but the tension is always there. The unresolved bitterness, the words left hanging in the air between us, they sit heavy in my chest. When I come home one evening, Rebecca is at the kitchen table. She looks like she's been waiting for this moment for a while, her shoulders hunched slightly, but her gaze steady when she looks at me. You want to talk? I ask, standing by the door. She nods, her voice soft. I think we need to. I take a deep breath and sit down across from her. I don't know what she's going to say, but I need to hear it. I've been thinking a lot about everything, Rebecca begins, running a hand through her hair, her voice shaky. About Amy. About us. She pauses, eyes darting around the room before meeting mine again. There's something you don't know about me and her, something I've never told you. I wait, my stomach tightening. Go on. She exhales, visibly bracing herself. When we were in high school, Amy and I, she stops, her hands gripping the table. We kissed. It was stupid. We were drunk, and it didn't mean anything, but I've never been able to shake it. I think that's why I've always gone overboard with trying to take care of her, make it up to her. My mind races. I've heard Rebecca talk about Amy 1,000 times, but this is different. It's like she's telling me something that's been buried for years. So, all this, all the running after her, all the favors and sacrifices, it's because of that? I ask, trying to keep the bitterness out of my voice. She nods, her eyes filled with regret. I didn't want you to think I was weak. I thought if I helped her enough, if I made up for that night, it would somehow make it right. But I see now. I've been neglecting you. And Sarah. She looks down, a tear slipping down her cheek. I'm sorry. I sit back in my chair, trying to process it all. I never knew it went this deep. I don't know what hurts more, the fact that she kept this from me, or that she put her sister ahead of us for so long. I don't know what to say to that, I mutter, the anger rising again, but it's not directed at her. It's at everything, the years of neglect, the subtle poison in the way Amy's always been at the center of our lives. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I was scared, she admits, wiping her eyes. I thought if I told you, you'd leave. Or you'd think less of me. The silence hangs heavy between us. I'm not sure where to go from here. What I do know is that this moment, this raw truth, is the first time I've seen her face everything we've ignored for so long. I can't keep living like this, Rebecca, I say, my voice firm. I can't keep being second place to Amy. I'm done. She nods, the guilt written all over her face. I understand. I promise I'll change. I will, James. I take a breath, trying to steady myself. It's not enough yet, but it's a start. You're on probation, I say, the words harsh but necessary. We can't go back to the way it was. But I'm willing to see if we can move forward. Together. Rebecca's face softens, a mix of relief and fear. I'll do whatever it takes. We sit there, the air between us thick with the weight of the conversation. I'm not sure what happens next, but for the first time in a while, I feel like we might finally be facing the same direction. It's my birthday. I wake up to silence, no card, no phone call, not even a text from Rebecca. The house feels colder than usual, like the distance between us has become something I can physically feel. I wait. Maybe she'll surprise me later, I think. But the hours drag on. I hear nothing. My phone buzzes a few times, work, a couple of texts from friends, but no word from her. By the time noon rolls around, I can't take it anymore. I try to call her, but she doesn't pick up. I stand by the window, watching the street. The clock ticks, each minute stretching longer than the last. Finally, just after 2, I get a text from Rebecca, "Happy birthday. I'm at Amy's with the kids. We'll be back later. Hope you're having a good day." My stomach churns. I stare at the message, feeling a mix of anger and disbelief. She's at Amy's? On my birthday? I've spent the last few weeks trying to fix things between us, trying to get her to understand how serious this is, and she's with her sister? I can't believe it. I put the phone down, and it feels like I'm suffocating. The more I think about it, the more the resentment builds. How many times have I put my needs aside for her and Amy? Too many. And today? Today is supposed to be about me. About us. I don't wait. I walk over to the bedroom and pull open the closet, grabbing my things, nothing too much, but enough to make it clear. I take a deep breath and dial Sarah's grandmother. I need a favor. I'll be over in 20. I don't wait for her to respond. I hang up and finish packing a small bag. I can't stay here any longer. I need space. I leave the house, my hands shaking as I lock the door behind me. When I arrive at Sarah's grandmother's, I sit in the car for a moment before stepping inside. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing, but I'm done. I've tried, again and again, to make this work. But Rebecca doesn't get it. And I can't keep putting myself last. After Sarah's settled in with her grandmother, I call Rebecca. Her voicemail picks up. I don't leave a message. I'm too angry to explain anything right now. I don't know what I expect when I finally get back to the house. What I find isn't what I'd hoped for. Rebecca's there, standing in the doorway, looking like she's been waiting for me. "You can't be serious," I say, my voice sharp. I'm sorry, James," she says, her voice trembling. "I thought you'd understand. I didn't mean to hurt you. But I can't do this anymore." I take a breath, trying to calm myself. It doesn't work. I've been trying to make this work. I've been trying to fix it, and you haven't even tried. I let the words sink in. You picked Amy over me today. On my birthday. She looks like she's going to cry, but I can't feel sorry for her anymore. The cracks in this relationship are too deep. I need space, I say, stepping back. I'm done. Rebecca's face crumples, but I don't stay to comfort her. I turn and leave, not knowing what the future holds. I'm done pretending we can go back. I'm done holding on to a relationship that's long been broken.